All right. Welcome back to the Roundtable Rams podcast. This is episode number 31, and we are going to be talking all about the Rams' first preseason game against the Kansas City Chiefs. But before we get into that, please, guys, if you like what you hear, share, comment, subscribe, like, do all the things. It really helps us out with exposure, as well as the official Roundtable Rams site will be in the description of this video. You can go there, create an account for free. It's got news, analysis. It's got its own built-in Twitter that's community posts. You can go comment on those, like those, share those, do all things, please. It really helps us out. But yeah, let's just jump right into it. A lot to talk about, a lot to get into. I'll just start it off here because I know it's what we're all going to be talking about. I know it's the main thing everyone's going to be talking about because it's just going to be the main thing that everyone's talking about. Holy hell, Ty Simpson. Man, wow. Yeah. That dude, look, we all talked about our concerns for multiple weeks and months at this point. We all questioned the pick. And I'm not saying that he's the second coming of Matthew Stafford. That's not at all what I'm saying. But he took over, I think, after the first quarter, came in and lit the field up. He looked good. He looked poised. He looked comfortable. He was throwing on the run with high accuracy. He protected the ball. He did everything right that you could have possibly done right. For the most part, he went 21 for 25, 190 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better preseason debut for a first-round pick for a guy that everyone assumed would lose the starting or the backup quarterback job to Stetson Bennett, who is, as we've said, seemingly has been in the lead since OTAs and minicamp and then leading into training camp and now preseason. But, and Ty Simpson even spoke after the game and said that he felt the most comfortable he's ever felt. He said there was nerves there, but obviously in a live game setting, he needed to feel okay, good about himself, and he did. Rich Eisen made a good point saying that, that's coaching and that's scheme. Again, we've highly questioned it, and I'm not sitting here saying, oh, this is it. Like, he's the guy. That's not the case. All I'm saying is the dude came in and he lit it up. He did, again, pretty much everything right you can do right. 125 passer rating. Again, he looked good. He's throwing on the run. Like, that was what the most impressive thing for me was his accuracy throwing on the run. Because obviously you're playing with third, fourth, whatever roster bubble offensive linemen. You're probably going to have to scramble a little bit. And then they're just designed throws for you to throw on the run. He looked damn good. I'll just say that. I'll end there. I know everyone's going to jump in with their opinions, but, bravo, Ty Simpson. I'll just say that.
I love this for him. I said this. I was like, I hope that he gets a chance to come out and silence everyone, us included, because he hasn't been getting that, even in practice. So this is great. If this is what he's doing with limited time practicing with these guys, like, this is wonderful. He can only go up from here. Of course, like you said, it's one preseason game. It's one game period. Like, things could change. Well, why have the Chiefs? I mean, the Chiefs are the Chiefs. It's a good team to go up against, a good team to cut your teeth with. Andy Reid gets great guys out, whether they're second, third, or fourth stringers. It's a great place for him to start in the NFL. And I just personally really, really love this pick. So good job, Ty Simpson. Sorry about the hate. And it wasn't, I will say here, I was never worried about him. It was the position. First round pick. I don't know. With Matthew Stafford there for as long as he's going to be, I don't know if it was the right thing, but we'll see, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Simpson he looked really, really good. I did not expect him to look that good, especially considering the type of reps he said he was getting at practice as well. But some guys are just better in a live game than practice. It's that simple. And honestly, like, through the first preseason game, he looked like the potential successor of Matthew Stafford. He looked like the guy that the Rams liked, that they drafted. 21 for 25. He looked really good on his feet. He looked really good in the pocket, because usually in the first couple of drives he was on the move a lot, and I was like, okay, he's doing good on the move. How is he as a pocket passer? And he looked just as good. He, like, in that last touchdown drive, he started slinging it. He started looking more comfortable. He started looking more in command. And more importantly, the offensive line too. They kept him upright. They didn't allow a sack on him either. So that's really good news in terms of the depth regarding the offensive line, which I know we all touched on in past podcasts as well. Yeah, this dude looked sharp. He looked better than, I mean, way better than Stetson Bennett. Granted, Stetson Bennett only had 2 drives. But yeah, Simpson looked like the part. He obviously had that. He appears to have built a really great connection with Dean Connors, the running back, and also too with Max Clare, who was fantastic as well. That's another pick, James, that me and you were talking about. Like, okay, that's a little weird. Yeah, he looked the part. 8 targets, 7 receptions, 37 yards. Everything I like on the offense. At least there was no like any concerns really. Everything looked sharp. And also too, just to shout them out because they were horrible last year. Special teams looked really good as well. Xavier Smith looked good. The kicking, the field goal attempts looked good, and more importantly, the punt kicks and the punt returns looked really good as well. Xavier Smith had a really good return for 40 yards. I think it was in the 4th quarter. So that was something that, you know, I'm sure felt really good to Sean McVay as well. We all know about how special teams went last year. So to see it even in this setting was encouraging and promising.
Yeah, obviously we were going to talk up Ty Simpson a whole hell of a lot, just because, I mean, obviously you're taking advantage of your opportunity and you light up the field and you show exactly what you needed to show. But man, one of the players that I was like gaga over the entire time, backup safety Nick Anderson. That dude was everywhere. He had 9 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, and he had 2 crazy passes that he defended. That was fantastic. Like, he was just stretching out, knocking the ball out. He did get hurt, I believe, in the end, like towards the end of the 4th quarter. I don't know how severe or not that injury was, but he did appear to be hurt and shaken up. He was taken off the field, but that dude was balling. Like, that guy was all over the field. Tanner Ingle, same thing, 5 tackles. Like, the defense, the backup defensive players, Tim Keenan, 5 tackles, 1 sack. Desjuan Johnson, 2 tackles, 1 sack, tackle for loss. Like, man, these guys are playing really hard. And this is, like, again, what we talked about in previous podcasts. This is depth guys. These are guys that, like, you know, 3rd stringers, 4th stringers, roster bubble guys. And they're playing, I mean, lights out. You know, they're playing their hearts out. And this is really what you want to see in preseason games, because you don't know, as coaching staff and as, you know, front office, you don't know what you have until you see it on the field, and you need to judge your entire roster by the way that they're handling themselves in a live game setting. And like Ty Simpson, you look at that and then you just see everybody else. Like, they were playing really, really good football. And again, I'll say it again because we have to keep saying it. It is week 1 preseason. We can't be like, oh, that's the guy, that's a starter. No, but you want to separate yourself. You want to play hard football. And I feel like a lot of the guys that are those lower tier guys did exactly that. And it was really impressive to see them go. And like I said, Nick Anderson, I hope that injury wasn't anything significant and he can be back out there for the 2nd preseason game. But man,
yeah, I can't see anything about, you know, him being out any longer than what he was there.
Yeah, like I said, he got banged up. I don't know exactly what happened, but we were actually messaging over the weekend, watching it and coverage, and I was like, Anderson, no, because like he just played such a good game, and then he got hurt, and I was like, no. But yeah, anyway, we'll see what these guys are going to continue to do on the field. But like a lot of really promising young players are just out there just balling out.
Yeah, he's another guy that I noted down, just looking really good out there. You know, keeping that, just defense in general, you know, keeping the Chiefs to only field goals. There was a few mess ups, I think, but it's to be expected in week 1 preseason. But yeah, I mean, it looked good. The thing that I was most excited about, though, was those backup running backs. Mm-hmm. I thought that run game was incredible. You know, Jordan Waters looked great. Even Jarquez Hunter, you know, they come out looking great. I was like, oh, it's going to be fine in Los Angeles if anything happens. Dean Connors as well, you know, it was such a great performance run wise. So that I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my gosh, they've got a whole lot of weapons there that Seattle's defense is gonna have to figure out.
One more thing that stood out to me too, what carried from last year, is the discipline from the Rams. The Chiefs had a ton of penalties, the Rams didn't have that much, and this is with backup guys, right? So like just like the discipline that they have that they carried over from last year. I think the Rams were the most disciplined team last year in the NFL. That certainly proved to be the case here. I mean, not what just really impressed me is that the backups too were disciplined, right? The third, the second, the third, the fourth stringers, guys who really kind of carried that into the preseason. Now imagine, the starters, right? Guys like Puka, like Matthew, the offensive line. That's really encouraging to see. That goes to show just how important coaching is, and how much they really emphasize it, because that's another thing, right? It can't win you a game, but it could certainly lose you a game. It could hurt drives. It could hurt series, right? So that's another thing that stood out to me as well.
Something that I just saw right now that I didn't even look at. Ethan Evans, 4 punts, 60.8 yards per average on those, and he inside 22 of them. Dude.
They took that special teams assignment seriously this offseason.
Thicker kicker, 2 for 2, man. The guy can still, he's drilling the ball, but that's crazy. 60 yards punting average. That's insane. I just looked at that right now and didn't even notice that before.
Yeah, no, that dude has a leg. I mean, I know last year we all know him from that pinning the Seahawks right on the 1 yard line. That was like, honestly, that was one of the crazy, outside of the Caleb Williams throw in the playoffs. That was one of like the craziest plays that I saw like in live action. That was insane. And that dude has a leg. You talk about overcorrection. That's exactly what they needed to do. It was great just seeing the special teams unit being competent, really, from all phases.
Yeah. Okay. We gushed a lot. Now on to the bad news. There are some injuries that the Rams are now dealing with that are pretty bad in terms of players that are still out and players that got injured in the preseason opener. Keegan Trost, unfortunately, suffered a hamstring injury during the game and was pulled. It looked to be not serious because he was sitting on the bench in uniform still, as opposed to going back to the locker room. But following the game, just yesterday, Sean McVay said that he would be out for a few weeks. And that's really, really, really troublesome for the Rams, because if Alaric Jackson is indeed suspended, that means David Questenberry is probably going to be the guy that's going to step up. Keegan Trost could have been that guy. He was the consensus top right tackle backup, but he probably could have shifted over to the left. But depending on how his hamstring injury heals, he will be out for the next few weeks. The same thing goes for Mario Williams, who had 2 kickoff returns for 51 yards, which was fantastic, but he also suffered a hamstring injury, and McVay said he's out for multiple weeks now as well. So there's there's about 3 weeks until the start of the regular season. And so, 3 weeks for the Rams, because they're playing in Australia, so they really got to fly out pretty early on in that week, I would assume, and get some practice in that heat or whatever. But on top of that, Puka Nacua and Myles Garrett are both not at practice still. Myles Garrett is dealing with knee swelling. They said that he's close, but not there yet. It's precautionary, as McVay had said. And then for Puka Nacua, his psoas is still bothering him, and he is out as well, which is a fancy term for a groin, or it's a part of the groin. I don't know. Again, like, I keep seeing that term, and I'm like, sure, whatever that is. McVay just said so. His psoas is still soreness of the psoas. I'm gonna keep saying it. It's just a fun word, but Puka has also not returned to practice. He said not this week. Potentially he'll be back the following week. But they need to get those guys for sure back as soon as possible. And again, it really, really sucks that Keegan Trost suffered that hamstring injury, so he will be sidelined for the time being.
Yeah, that was the thing I was saying last week about just that offensive line is a worry, just a question mark over that, because there's still been no update on Jackson. Did we mention Myles Garrett's injury?
Yeah, I said his knee swelling is still there.
Sorry, there were too many.
No, I know. It was a lot.
I was like, actually.
I thought it was only going to be a couple, and it was like bam, 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 bam. But yeah.
No, but it seems like they're, at least Puka and Myles seem good. I think McVay said that they're back at practice this week or if not next week, then
next week probably. I want to say that. Well, Nakua is for sure not going to be back this week. I think he said next week, but Myles Garrett, they still said he's about 85-90%, which is trending in the right right direction.
Yeah. I'll just read it. They said that they're going to just be on the side of caution, which is the perfect thing to do for those two star players. You don't want to have acquired Myles Garrett, get him injured, and then have him out for the season. I mean, not great, but considering how well they looked out on the field this week, it seems like there's some depth there that they'll benefit from if anything is serious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Trost one, that was really unfortunate. I really wanted to see more of him. I wasn't really sure how much he was going to play, but I mean, I'm sure way more than what was anticipated. He was supposed to be the starting right tackle for the for the rest of preseason. Now they'll probably look at Blake Hance or Bryce Henderson at those points. Neither of those two are certainly not going to be starting in week one, or even the backup in week one once things get rolling. I mean, the Rams got to take a look and see how these guys perform. It just really sucks for Trost because this could be a guy who could be a centerpiece, in 2027 with how, depending on how the offensive line shakes up in the next offseason. And then for Nakua, it was really, that one's kind of a bummer because last week McVay said it could probably be returned this week, and then now it's next week. That one kind of sucks, but I'm sure they're just taking the more cautious side.
I mean, that's what McVay always does anyway. He's always overly cautious with players, which again, these guys probably weren't going to play in preseason anyway, so you don't really need them to be out on the field, but.
Yeah, but just to be practicing, right? Like to me, if you're not practicing, that's not a good sign, no matter what time of the year it is. That sucks. But then again, Matthew Stafford didn't practice last year at all.
I was just gonna say that.
He ended up having an MVP, right? So
we didn't see him until week one, and he was like, "Damn, let's go."
Literally leading up to week one, we're like, "Man, is he gonna make 10 games this year?" And
maybe that's actually the trick. Don't
probably
show up
right.
Training camp.
I don't know. It worked for a 37-year-old last year. Why can't it work for a 25-year-old and a 30-year-old this year? I don't know.
Maybe I'm going to be hated for what I'm about to say, but this is a concern because it seems that Puka Nacua is always kind of dealing with some sort of injury.
Yeah, that too.
Contract year.
Yeah, and contract year too, right? You don't want to. Yeah, clearly you don't want to come back from the injury, from the groin thing, and then
the psoas.
Psoas. Thank you. That's the word. Psoas. Yes, you don't want to miss 4 or 5.
I'm always
games,
learning
right?
new words via the Rams.
Yeah. Honestly, they're like, oh man, it's crazy. So on the injury front, it's not pretty, but I guess it could be worse.
Yeah,
maybe
it could be worse.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean. As we said, and we'll continue to say, their injuries are commonplace in the NFL. And right now, you want to be injured as opposed to being injured significantly through to the regular season. That's when you don't want to be injured, especially Myles Garrett and Puka Nacua, two players that you're going to be depending on heavily in the regular season and beyond. You definitely don't want those guys to be injured, and you don't want to rush them back into action because you don't need to. You know what I mean? Like, you really don't need to. And that's just it. Just don't. Big Vay's going to be cautious. We probably weren't going to see starters anyway throughout the preseason games because he just never plays starters. So it is what it is.
Do you know who else we didn't see? Aaron Donald.
I was going to segue into that, but I'm glad you brought it up. Moving right on to something that I know.
I thought I would take control of the narrative this week before I get triggered and rage-baited.
Yeah.
So I was going to segue into that and be like, you know what? We're going to talk about something that I know Billy doesn't want to talk about. But we got to talk about it anyway.
I'm bringing it up. But.
Aaron Donald, Mr. Donald. So as I was saying about Aaron Donald. So, okay. Second official tryout. No announcement. That's all we got. McVay said a whole lot about it. He just said that, there's some benchmarks and he doesn't want to be on an invisible timeline. Blah, 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 he said a whole hell of a lot of nothing. Didn't really point to Aaron Donald returning or not. In my opinion, I think he's closer to potentially not returning more so than he is, just because you're already eating up a lot of time in training camp. let me back up. Maybe he's not going to be there for the start of the regular season. Maybe he needs to get himself more ready for like a mid-season push. I know that the whole conversation has been about him wanting to play a full season and be where he was at before, and his speed is still there and he looks good and this and that, but he's still 2 years removed from the game. And regardless of who you are, that's a long time to be off from football. And regardless of how incredibly in shape Aaron Donald still is, it's not football shape. You know what I mean? Like, you can lift as many weights as you want, but like, to be out there stopping 350-pound offensive linemen, it takes a lot out of you. So I don't know right now. I'm not convinced that he's going to be making a return. And if he is going to be making a return, I don't think it's going to be at week 1. I'll say that.
Yeah, but then I wonder if it at all, because if that was his aim, he wants to come do the whole thing.
Yeah.
If that was the condition, like, is joining mid-season going to be something that he's even interested in?
Yeah.
I think, and the defense on Saturday night looked good. Those backups look good enough to, not Aaron Donald good, sure, but like good enough that they can hold it down if anything goes wrong. So I don't know. I kind of wish I'd stuck to my guns a few months ago when I said there's no way he's coming back.
They don't need him. I'll say that they do not need Aaron Donald at all.
It's a nice to have
whatsoever. And even Trent McDuffie kind of in a weird way spoke about the concerns if Aaron Donald comes back. He was like, how do you scheme that up? Who's playing where? And even though he was talking about like offenses needing to deal with that with him and Myles Garrett and everybody else, I think he's pointing to a really big problem. Who's going to lose playing time if he comes back? We talked about this before. Could be Braden Fisk, but do you really want to keep Braden Fisk off the field? During that speed drill with Braden Fisk and Aaron Donald, Fisk looked way quicker. Yes. So, and like, it's not as if Fisk was some sort of slouch. Like, he was dealing with an injury in 2025, but he still played pretty damn good football. So I don't know. And the reason why I kind of switched my tune, or rather my belief on him coming back fully or even for a full season, is because McVay said due to unforeseen circumstances. And he ended with that in one of his points about Aaron Donald. And I think those unforeseen circumstances could very well be the fact that Aaron Donald simply doesn't want to come back. And I'm not saying that he doesn't. He had 2 official tryouts. He's still working and doing drills. What if he does come back? But what if he's just coaching? What if he's on the sideline there helping out the defense in that manner, and he's not going to be coming back in the way in which people think he's going to come back? I don't know. There's so many different scenarios and whatever, but right now, personally, I don't think he's going to be coming back full season, full clip at all.
Yeah, it's weird. The more that it's stalling, the more I'm kind of with you, James. It's kind of like, it's kind of more pointing to a no. Like, if you were to ask me like 2 weeks ago, I thought it was a 90-10, 90 yes, 10 no. Now it's more so like a 60-40 maybe. 60. I'm still saying 60 yes because of that second workout, because he's still putting in the work. I think like, if he truly didn't want to come back, he would come out and say no already. But he is still putting on the pads. He's still doing what he needs to do to return. But yeah, it's not easy, right? 2 years removed from anything. That's going to take some time, especially football. Just like the ruggedness of it, right? Just what it demands week to week. It's a lot, and there's a reason why he retired. He said he's full, he's complete. He doesn't feel like coming back anymore. That's, is he trying to get back in that mindset, right? What's the deal? Like, if he's just coming back because Myles Garrett is back, that's the wrong reason to come back. Like, he needs to come back because he believes that he still has something left in the tank. He believes. We know he does. Does he believe he has more left in the tank? Does he believe he can be still a difference maker, wreak havoc on the offense, right? Can he do all that? If he can, then okay, yeah, sure. But I think he needs to believe that and I think that's why this process is taking so long, because he's trying to get in that mindset in a way. But yeah, I just in general, I think the longer this kind of goes on, it's kind of like, oh, I don't know. And then also too, again, they're traveling to Australia for week 1. Does he want to do that travel? I don't know. Right? But like the reports did indicate, he wants to play the full season. I don't know. Does he want to go to Australia for that first game? That's a lot. And then coming back as well. I don't know. Those are a lot of question marks that clearly maybe he's thinking of, right? So yeah, there's still a lot that could happen and that will happen.
And it's like, does his return at the end of preseason football, does that throw off everything? And I'm not saying that the Rams defense is not smart enough to learn any defensive scheme when they need to learn it, and they drill it in practice, and that's the whole point of that. But the longer you wait, the more that Chris Shula cannot develop that plan, the more that the rest of the pass rush and the defensive line cannot be involved, and everybody on the defense can be involved in that plan. You're eating up too much time, in my opinion, to come back and make sure that things do not go haywire on that defense, because as Sean McVay has said, they're good where they're at, and they're playing as if it's not a factor. But again, that kind of throws a wrench into the whole thing. Is if he does come back, what does that mess up? And I don't think it's going to be a perfect transition if he comes in and everyone's going to be like, oh yeah, Aaron Donald's here, you stand there and we're all good to go. I don't think that at all. I think you have to prepare.
It can't work that way either. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And again, I'm not saying that Aaron Donald is not smart enough. Chris Shula doesn't know how to scheme up. Obviously, this is one of the best defenses in the NFL, regardless of Aaron Donald coming back. Chris Shula is one of the best defensive coordinators. If this defense is as good as it's going to be on paper, he's probably going to get a head coach job next hiring cycle. The point being, like, it's taking too long.
I've been saying this. I said it's distracting. That's what I was getting irritated about. It's distracting from everything else. This defense is already amazing, that everyone anticipates to be the best defense in the league this year. Like, it's just distracting. And the longer he's not there, the more difficult he's going to make it for his teammates. It's not like a team player thing to do, to make people wait this long, whether it's him, whether it's whatever it is. Like, it just needs to be figured out. And I think if we don't hear anything in the next couple of days, it's likely not gonna happen.
Yeah,
I'll give it a week. If we don't hear with anything by the end of
like a week, and then it's like less than a few weeks until the start of the season, I don't think that's a smart move.
That's what I'm saying. And by the end of next week, if there's no further update, if McVay doesn't come out and say yes, he's coming back,
and he's still saying the same thing, right?
Yeah, if he's still saying the same thing, I'm 100% going to go like 80-20 that he's not coming back. That's how I'm going to feel.
Yeah. I know, it's just, there's a lot of time that has passed, and then like, regardless of how great Aaron Donald is, I mean, you could probably say just plug him in. It's a lot more complicated than that. You can't really do that because you have established guys. You have a guy like Braden Fisk who's more familiar with Chris Shula's scheme, and then you have Poona Ford right there as well, right? I mean, there's a lot of moving parts, and then like the good thing is that the defensive line looked good in preseason. Like, there's gonna be an odd man out. It's just a lot of time's passing, and that's not a good sign for the potential return of Aaron Donald.
Yeah, I mean, now I'm at the point where I'm like right alongside Billy with the frustration, because it's like, dude, you're just eating up too much time at this point. And like every week, obviously everyone's in the media is gonna keep asking Sean McVay, but like for him to be like, oh, there's no invisible timeline, and he's like, yeah, he's earned that. Like, yeah, I know he's earned that, and it's Aaron Donald, but like at some point, bro, you got to say something about, I'm coming back. Give me a week. I still have to get into football shape, but there's nothing like that going on. So like, I don't know.
Welcome to my world, because this is how I've been feeling.
Yeah, no, after Friday, I was like, dude, are you serious? Like, this is ridiculous. And then now this is Tuesday, and James, I'm the same boat as you. Like, if nothing happens by next Friday, which is the 28th.
Yep.
What?
And then you got 2 weeks.
Yeah, you have
get in the thing. I'm going to Australia.
I think by the time the 28th that's less than 2 weeks for the start, at least of the Rams season. So
it'll be less than 2 weeks, because they're leaving. Their game's on Thursday, so you would assume they're probably going to fly out like.
They usually spend the week there because they do like activations and fan activations.
I would say they fly over the weekend, like the 5th, maybe.
Yeah, the plan hasn't been set for how the Rams are going to handle it, because I remember last year when they went to London, they flew out maybe like 2 days beforehand. I don't know if they're going to do the same thing for Australia. We'll see, but like the plans haven't been like officially
I mean, I know for some reason McVay's like, I'm not going to say it. It's like, okay,
all
right,
take it really pissy about that.
No, take it easy.
That time difference though is much different. LA to London.
That and the heat. That's the kind of heat that these players don't know about. That's not California heat. That's Australia heat. Like, you got.
It is winter there.
Well, whatever it is, so there's bugs and shit that you haven't seen there. All right, that's neither here nor there.
There are things to prepare for.
That's just my fear. That's just my fear. That has nothing to do with the team.
You're projecting.
I'm projecting right now.
I don't want to go to Australia.
I would never go to Australia. I'm going to stay right here and watch it. All right, but
Northern Hemisphere.
Yeah, exactly. But thank you guys so much for listening. We will be back next week to recap the second preseason game. Maybe we'll have some Aaron Donald news. Probably not. But thank you guys so much for listening. And we will be back next week.
Please.